I don't know.
Hello.
Aloha.
Hello.
Tim wanted to do an evening video, except the lighting looks kind of weird.
Hi, we have weird lighting. So, this is not a breakfast video. This is not a cleanse video by any means.
No.
We have a little bit of wine here. And Rebecca just made this amazing shepherd's pie. She said today, what do you want for dinner? And I said, I want a hamburger casserole. And this is what she came up with. Anyway, aloha.
Aloha. So I'm not sure why Tim wanted to make an evening video, but I think he wanted our...
Hi. We're back. That was weird. So, yeah, because we had a weird day. Well, you know, we've been having a lot of life changes recently about deciding whether to move to the Big Island, and we have family and friends saying, oh, don't go to the Big Island, and it's been a lot of emotional stress on both of us. And what else?
I woke up with a lot of anxiety.
She had super anxiety, and in case you all don't know, both of us have anxiety issues, which everyone has anxiety, but when it's generalized anxiety disorder, it's not quite the same as just being worried about, you know, whether or not you're going to get a performance evaluation at work and whether or not you're going to get a raise. It's like the whole world is crashing down on you constantly when you have it. And it's generalized, so it's everything, whatever you can think of. Like, you know, my toothbrush is not fitting right, and oh, you know, the mail is going to be late, and just, I mean, whatever doesn't make sense becomes an issue.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have post-traumatic stress syndrome, so sometimes I get triggered, and getting triggered will then turn into anxiety.
So and Rebecca's helped me a great deal since I met her because she knows about all this stuff, and she said, you have it. I'm like, no, I don't. And she said, yes, you do. And I said, no, I don't. And pretty soon I kind of realized that maybe she was right. Had lots of freakouts about really dumb things, and finally came to realize that maybe I had it too. So we're learning as we go. And I freak out in particular about change. So we've been talking about going to the Big Island, and when we've been talking about how Honolulu is too noisy for us and crazy, and I really want to plant things and kind of live off the land, or at least I have thought that in my life, and I bought land on the Big Island for that purpose. But every time I can contemplate actually doing that, I just like that. And so, you know, Rebecca is also going crazy from Oahu, and it took me a long time to realize that she was going crazy on her own, that she was not going crazy because she was empathizing with me. She was actually going crazy because of Oahu. I mean, it took me forever to figure that out. She like really is miserable here. It's
I don't think I'd put it quite that.
She's miserable.
I don't think I'd put it that extraordinary.
Okay, take over.
I'm just suggesting that I'm not necessarily absolutely miserable. I do find living in the city hard. So it's not like all of Oahu. It's in the middle of the city in Honolulu where there's very little quiet, and there's little opportunity to connect with the land sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's living
not much
in a
nature
concrete...
where we are, even though we're in Hawaii.
Right.
We see the ocean, which I keep pointing out, you know, when we go to the Big Island, we won't actually see the ocean, but we'll be in nature. Whereas here we're in concrete, and then we can see the ocean. So it's a weird dichotomy. But I lost my train of thought. Hi, Craig Watanabe.
Hello, Craig.
We're just musing about life and stuff.
That's all. I don't know why we even think anybody on Facebook would be interested.
We
but
assume
like
nobody would care, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be a thing. It could be stupid, But yeah.
Well, we were thinking that how we work through our problems is our own issue. It's our own thing. But maybe some of it would be of value to others. I don't know, because we're learning as we go ourselves. So today we had an issue come up. I have always wanted to be a rock star. Well, not always, but in my later life, I'm like, God, that would have been great if I had just pursued that. And then, of course, I realized that would never happen, and, you know, I didn't work hard enough at it and all that. But still, people say, well, what would you like to do with the rest of your life? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to farm, maybe. But most of my goals have been realized. I did some great things when I was younger, and I feel proud of them. But when I think of, well, if I could be on stage singing the Rolling Stones and have thousands of people adore me, that would be a great thing. Now, of course, the possibility of that being real are next to none. But people say, well, what would make you happy? So that has been my thing for the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I would love it if I could just sing some. And, you know, I do sing on stage now. I've actually been in 3 musicals that were rock musicals and got the opportunity to sing that, and people liked it. So that encouraged me. And then I go to karaoke, and I enjoy that. So I've been talking with Sean Harrison and Shannon Harrison about being in their band, because they do the Rolling Stones.
And they're pretty amazing.
And they are pretty amazing. And they have sometimes hinted that, you know, they would like to see me do that, but I never, you know, knew if I could take them seriously. So anyway, they finally decided to say, we're doing this now. We're going back and making the Rolling Stones group, which is called the Blue Stones, and they are awesome. But meanwhile, we're planning to move to the Big Island. So even though for them it was probably, it'd be fun, you know, we'll do this thing. For us, it was this huge thing because it's like a dream of mine, and it's a dream of Rebecca's, especially to go to the Big Island. So how do we deal with that? We still don't know, but...
Well, actually, we had a great conversation with Shannon, and then we had a good conversation between us about it, which was very positive, I think, when everything is said and done. It's hard, right? It's hard to balance your goals and wishes when you are a couple, because then you can't just go off and do whatever you want, right? I mean, you could, but then you're going to be pretty much kissing the relationship goodbye.
Well, and there are, I don't know, this is probably a disparaging thing to say, but I think maybe more normal people, more normal couples who have 9-to-5 jobs and, you know, who are committed to their lives and where they live, like whatever town they live in, they're fine with just doing what they do. But if you have these weird fantasies of being an actor or being a theater person or starting your own theater company or being a rock and roll star or anything ridiculous like that, that then takes you sort of out of the realm of the norm into this world of how are we going to balance that with just getting paying the bills and getting food on the table every night, because we're weird.
We're a little strange.
We are a little strange.
But we were able to come to some kind of compromise to some degree, but also the realization that we need to bring more music into our life.
Music!
As much as we love theater.
Awesome.
Because music is also something that's important to us, we want to start doing that. So I think that's probably one of the things we're going to do, regardless of how things turn out. Right?
Yes. And we're having a lovely dinner with shepherd's pie and just hanging out, and just thought we'd blather away at y'all.
So thank you for listening.
Yes. We're now going to either watch a movie or go sing karaoke, one or the other.
But we appreciate you. Aloha.
Aloha.